this has been a great Third Side. Please check out the show on YouTube, and we will see you on the Third Side Convo next week. Thank you.
So.
Good job, guys.
Same here on you.
Take you down.
Yeah, we gotta. When I'm up and around, we gotta hook up. We gotta go. I was telling Bob we need to have a once a month meeting or go to 1010 so we can all be in person so we can see each other.
I know. I was like, you were popping off on me last week. I had to sit there and come back. I had to put you in your place.
We are trying to link the Zoom call and see if they can hear us.
We can hear you.
Okay, we can hear Monica. Can you all hear Monica?
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear me too.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
Don, did you hear Monica?
Barry, I can hear her now. Yeah. I can hear her now.
Okay.
Ground control to Major Tom.
Okay,
yeah.
So let's start with Monica. Monica, what did you think?
All right.
It went a little bit better than I was anticipating. I'm not gonna lie, but I will say I agree with a lot of what Deborah and is it Don? I'm sorry, the gentleman in the gray shirt. Yeah, I agree, and Larry. Hi, Larry. I agree with a lot of what the three of you said. I do, if I may, make some really quick points. So before I say anything, sometimes it's not sometimes, all the time, when I see people get so in their feelings about Juneteenth or Black History Month in particular, I always ask the question, why are you so upset? What is driving that emotion? And be real with yourself about it, because it's part of American history and it should be celebrated. To Don and Deborah's point and Larry's point, absolutely. And I'm not opposed to combining some of the, like Ted pointed out, President's Day got combined. That makes sense, right? I'm opposed. I'm opposed to combining Indigenous Day with Thanksgiving, because I feel like it's still an insult because people are still out here thinking we want to, but honestly, I don't really care. Just call it, National Indigenous Day or whatever you want to. But that I've never celebrated Thanksgiving in my family because a lot of my family are Native Americans. So we've never said Thanksgiving. It's always been, okay, it's a holiday. Everybody come home and eat. That's what it was, right? Wow. But I'm not opposed to that combination and just, however. I haven't done all the research and working out the days, this, that, and the other thing.
Well, I thought Thanksgiving was about the
stay exactly where it is. Martin Luther King is for a completely different aspect of our history, and it needs to stay where it is. And as far as the date for June 19th, the date wasn't pulled out of the air. That's the day that I forgot if it's general or whatever his position is. That is the day that they found out. They were the last ones to find out, and that was the day. So it wasn't a day pulled out of thin air. And you're always going to have people, to Deborah's point, back then the communication was so slow. So you're always going to have people, arguing out about what exactly the date was. Who gives a damn? We have a date that something very important occurred in our history in America. We need to embrace that. And okay, it was Black people, yes. And to Don's point, when he started talking, we should be celebrating the fact that we're getting, at that point, the point was trying to get closer to everybody being equal. You know what I'm saying? Like the way people
Monique, one of the things, the point, hey, Monica, the one point we were making is there were a bunch of different days that could have been celebrated for emancipation, but obviously there were some people in Texas, in Galveston or wherever it was, and they really went above and beyond to get Juneteenth established. Joe Bishop, you've been here on the longest. How did you think it came out? I know you were probably thinking the whole show was going to be about Juneteenth, but we just it's kind of cool to talk about other things and learn about other holidays and what other people think. What's your thoughts, Joe?
Well, I definitely agree with the voting
day, which I mentioned in the last, I think one of the show before last. So yeah, I definitely agree with that. I don't think this should be the last one. I mean, it's so much that, you know what I'm saying, we should recognize, like September 11th. I mean, that could be another one. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Making that a national holiday,
good point.
just a day of remembrance.
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah, I mean, as far as the holidays go, it's like, why not? I mean, and if we're just talking about the government shutting down, you know, or for a paid holiday, we need to be in the uproar when the government does shut down. You know, it's a lot less turmoil over that than we're talking about a holiday.
It's not totally shut down. The government never shuts down totally.
Gotcha. Hey, Ted, how's the view out there? You're looking pretty good after your donation of blood, but what'd you think about our national holiday talk?
I thought it came up pretty general. I don't think any major breakthroughs were achieved. I think holidays are malleable. I think a lot of it has to do with the society adjusting. As we said earlier, 2 different birthdays for presidents are now one weekend. We do commemorate special people who pass away. Juneteenth is a needed holiday, I believe. I think in general, though, you know, when I was in newspaper business, I never got Martin Luther King Day off, and rarely Veterans Day, because those are football games and youth sports days and all that stuff. I was working. So, and I look back at my dad when he was school teaching, he had a second job at Disneyland. So on holidays, he was working. Yeah. He needed the money. It's like someone said, a lot of people have to have these holidays and work. Right. So I think it's pretty okay. I put in the chat that Iran has 23 national holidays. We have 12. Saudi Arabia has 5. No, we have 13. And Sweden has 12, and Saudi Arabia has 5. All religious oriented.
Yeah.
So it varies by country to country. Generally speaking, you know.
Okay.
I mean, farmers don't take Saturday and Sunday off a lot of times if you're baling hay in the summer and the thunderstorms coming in, you got to get the hay in. You're working Sunday. So weekends don't exist either. So, you know, it kind of goes back and forth and all this stuff.
Yeah, when we get into talking about schools, Ted, it's the way that, you know, summers were so long because that's what they were needed for the crops and stuff. And, of course, in many other countries, they go to school a lot more. So it's kind of related in there. Hey, Lenny. Lenny, what'd you do? What's your thoughts?
Missed you.
I just don't have a whole lot of passion around changing stuff. But out of all of the conversations about the different holidays, I think 9/11 is probably a day that we don't want to forget. And I would just say, if we're going to have holidays, then, you know, it shouldn't be something that is dividing one group out of the country into another. I would prefer to see a holiday that collectively we all had an experience on, and that we all need to commemorate.
So my idea of Elon Musk's birthday isn't going to work, or what, Lenny?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
That's a good
Why
one.
aren't you canceled for saying name?
Help me now.
Why?
Let's give Elon Musk a holiday right after we name one of the oceans after Donald Trump. I mean,
there he goes again.
There you go.
Hey, Steve, you haven't had a chance to talk on the wrap up. Steve, what'd you get out of it?
I agree with Michelle for 2 reasons.
Oh.
First, she's correct about the economic impact. Secondly, I experienced, as I said on the break, a 4-day work week at Ford Motor Company. Yes, there's some jobs that can be done that way, but most that I've experienced and seen cannot be done that way. There's too much loss in productivity. You really can't get the job done. You're already working 5 by 10 as a professional. Now, how are you supposed to fit it all into 4 by 10?
Yeah.
By definition, it can't be done.
Yeah.
So that's my thoughts.
No, I like it. I get more done when everybody else is not at work, so I would actually enjoy it. I'd still probably work the same. Rich Ungar, you haven't gotten to jump in. You got to listen to the whole thing.
I've had clients. So I don't know what happened. I got disconnected.
Oh.
I've had clients that have done 4-day work weeks too, and the situation has been the same as what Steve said. The interesting thing about November, I think voting day is a great idea to have as a national holiday. The problem is we've already got Veterans Day and Thanksgiving in November. So that would give us 3 holidays in November. But we have a holiday in January, 2 holidays in January, and then in February, we don't have anything.
President's Day.
We do. We have President's Day in there. And
March is no holiday.
March or April.
March and
nothing
April.
in March and nothing in April.
And Juneteenth finally.
Yeah. So anyway, there's other months in there where I think you could do it, but I think
Rodeo Day
you got a national
Rodeo Day.
You got a national holiday. Inauguration Day is a national holiday. So if the Inauguration Day is a national holiday, why wouldn't Voting Day be a national holiday? That's my thought. I think Columbus Day is definitely on the bubble. But that's in October, so that doesn't really help.
Yeah.
No, but that's the most logical one to swap out for
Monica. I can tell you, I'm from an Italian family, Monica, and we celebrate Columbus Day in my family all the time. It means nothing to me. So losing Columbus Day means nothing to me. But I just tell you, I think Voting Day would be a terrific idea for it to be a national holiday.
Well, Columbus Day, you've been to a Columbus Day parade in your life, I'm sure. Probably they're a little bit different than the gay pride parades, but the Columbus Day parades were huge back in the day.
Yeah. I'm a little older than some of you. I think Steve and I are the same age, but I remember when I was young, I got to meet President John Kennedy or Senator John Kennedy when he came to Detroit, and it was Columbus Day that he came. So
neat.
The most significant Columbus Day I remember was meeting Senator John Kennedy when he was came to Detroit.
Wow.
Rich, where
there's a lot of
from?
There's a lot of Italians in South Philadelphia.
I was getting
who
ready to say
would be very offended by Columbus Day being deleted.
Well, Rich, you got to remember, Columbus was a contractor.
Yeah.
He did it for the King and Queen of Spain. He didn't do it for Italy. He was an assignment.
Yeah, he was getting paid. Exactly.
He was 1099.
A big deal.
Good
It's like
point.
you calling in somebody in the other county to come in and mow your lawn or something. Come on.
Good point.
Or
He was
Columbus.
getting paid.
We're throwing Columbus out.
Now go in.
He's getting paid.
Well, I've looked a lot at different elements of different holidays, and Juneteenth, I made sure that we closed our offices and so forth. Said, Happy Juneteenth to all the people, and I had a number of people get upset saying it was cultural appropriation, and I'm like, why? Because this is a black holiday. And I'm saying, well, actually, it's when we as a nation decided that we were going to go ahead and treat all men equal. Yes, women came later when we allowed them to vote and all that, but we decided to treat all men equal, and therefore it's a national holiday that everyone should be celebrating. And I got some dirty looks and so forth, and people have some comments here and there. But I think most national holidays should be nationally celebrated, so everyone should be involved. Maybe merge Memorial Day with Labor Day and some of the other ones that deal with military. Maybe merge some of those. But yeah, we should look at making sure that it's safe economically for us to have different days. But I do agree we should make having a national holiday for voting and make it only one day. Not a week. Just
Joe Boy, you got to remember when Martin Luther King Day was inaugurated, Arizona didn't go along with it. And a bunch of corporations said, okay, you don't want to go along with us? We're boycotting you. We're not having conventions in your state. The governor turned her ass around in about 2 years when she realized she's lost about $100 million in revenue. Remember that?
No, I'm not that old.
California companies, Ted.
Still a lot of money, Larry. Doesn't matter.
No problem.
From all over the country.
I think we should have leap year.
About the every 4 years for the president. I think that's a great idea. But my only challenge to that is that, and this is actually something I'm actively working on right now with some local politicians and stuff, is though voting for president is very important, the local elections are so important. And that's where we really need to encourage people to get out and vote, if nothing else. Because I know this is going to sound kind of weird, but to be perfectly honest, you get a larger turnout for the president because the nation takes it as a competition at that point. So everybody's trying to get out and vote in some way or another. But the local elections are so significant if anything, and I'm not saying don't do the president every 4 years, but the local elections, I think they don't have to be national necessarily, but there needs to be something, definitely a little bit more around the local elections.
Well, if we made a national holiday that was every year, then the local ones could be done on that day, correct?
One holiday in odd years and another holiday in even years. So, for example, you could have Columbus Day in odd years, and you could have another one, Indigenous Peoples, that whatever you want to have in even years. Just change the name.
Sharing custody, Rich?
Shared custody.
I guess so, yeah.
I mean, there's many, I agree. There's many ways that we can do this. That's what I love about this show. You see this? This is how America should be working. Everybody got all the ideas and everybody's being civil. It's great to see everybody working together or coming together on a goal that we as Americans, we should be working like this out there in the world. So.
Yeah, you should see the messages Michelle sends me. God, they're really mean.
The problem is that I agree with you 100%, Don. The problem is one, we're such a small cross section of the population, and two, there's a great number of educated people here. There's a lot of ignorant people, willfully ignorant people out here. Because Deborah had said something earlier about people like, what are we celebrating? We live in a digital age. It does not take much to find the information you need to understand something, but people choose to be willfully ignorant and support their willful ignorance. And then that's where all the inability to have a amicable discourse about these types of things comes into play. So I agree with you. Problem is we don't represent a very large portion of the.
Well, if you look at the Times today, check out the Times. We got Deb Lupton with 7 minutes and 44 seconds of conversation. Don with 5 minutes.
I gotta say something about that.
Michelle with 3, and we got Larry with a bit, just a little bit. 2 minutes.
That timer was not working. It was not
no,
working.
no. Tiberius did a way better job this time.
Not working. I sat there and watched Larry stay on a minute for like 2 minutes.
We wrote a new program for the timers, and Tiberius did way better this time. I was watching; he did way better this time.
He messed up a couple of times. I was watching the timers.
I love it.
What? Regardless of that,
I want to second what Monica said about willful ignorance. That's absolutely spot on. It doesn't take anything to Google why are you having this holiday.
This
and
won't
not be an ignorant idiot while you're arguing about it.
Guys, down the road, this won't be a problem at all. We'll all have Neuralink, and it will all be fed into our brains on the day of the holidays. We're all set.
And that's the day Elon Musk becomes a holiday. Yeah, that's the same day.
Exactly. That's the next one.
Well, this is what the show is about, Bob, right? Rome wasn't built in a day. I'm coming from the fact that I started at like TSA. It took 20 years to get them to the union, right? We had to start. And now they're about to vote on their contract after 20 years of being in existence. They're probably going to get what they're just due. So it took 20 years, but it takes conversations like this, or takes the vision to start someplace. And this is like one of the things I think that's why I'm here with Bob, because I can see the vision of this happening. And I can see 20 years down the road that we're going to be at a different spot,
Yeah, invite your friends, by the way. Invite your friends to join the Peanut Gallery. We'll try. Everybody has been good about getting me some topic ideas and things, but it takes a little bit of time to nail it down. I'll try to get it Deborah earlier, but I'm just seeing Michelle get so much smarter. That's all there is to it. I mean, trust me, she didn't think that she could add anything to the show, but then she learned that she could read. Right. And oh my God. And then you have Ted, who you wouldn't believe the emails that are going back and forth between the right and the left, to the point where somebody told me something today. I won't quote it.
You need to put it on the YouTube channel as comments instead.
Well, we were going to say that. Yeah, that's what I did want to say to you. Any comments you want to make, throw them on the YouTube channel, Joe Boy says. But I'm just saying, it has been brilliant watching the interplay between all of y'all. Okay? Larry and Ted should be their own show.
Just for the record, it's everybody versus Ted, not the left versus the right.
Everybody jump on Ted. Let's get the liberal.
Yeah, but it's only because we love you, Ted. That's the only reason why.
Ted, look in the chat. Look what I put in the chat.
I know. I'm your spirit animal. I know.
I think we need to sell shirts with Ted's face and the word rejected on it.
Yeah, it's going to say Team Ted.
Ted's going to want his cut.
Ted gets it every time.
Monica digs what I got to say. Yeah.
Hey, and Joe Bishop, if you want to actually be on the main show so we won't be able to cut you off, you'll be able to talk a little more, just let me know, because I know we've missed you a couple times when you were busy, okay? That you had conflicts on other shows. So let me know. I would love you to say, okay, I can do next Thursday or whatever, for all of y'all here, you know, that we're going to try to get Joe. I know we want to get you on, okay?
Sure.
I really want to hear you.
You better have that mute button ready.
Well, I'm glad the subject turned out pretty good.
You're going to need to bring in one extra person just for Joe's mute button. I'm telling you. Be careful what you ask for.
I've already got 3 people back here. We're crowded in this room.
Well, there's 3 guys back there. I didn't notice that.
Yeah, I got Mr. Adam over here. He's hiding.
He's hiding. Exactly.
He's hiding.
Hey, Bob, I got to ask you, your meme for your symbol, is that Florida Gators?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
What has that university done but create Gatorade? Has it had anything else?
Yeah, we've done a lot. They're actually
like
there was an article about them being basically just below the Ivy League, but that's another story. And here's a good one. You'd love this. For the last 27 years, Ted, a Gator athletic team has been the national champ every year for 27 straight years.
Wow.
I know that sounds weird.
That's almost as good as Stanford winning the.
We're really good at the sports. Stanford and us are the best in that one where they do an overall cup for the year. It's called the Capital One Cup. Stanford and Florida have won the most titles.
You know why?
Why?
Because you two have the most sports teams. A lot of teams. You have
No,
to
it's
have
true.
17 NCAA teams to register in the NCAA.
Right.
Stanford's got like 32.
Well, exactly, and they'll have ones like lacrosse and archery for all I know. I did want to throw out
fencing. You forgot fencing.
Okay, let me throw out this, and these are the next 5 topics I've been thinking about, just to throw them out to y'all and get back to me if you're interested. One is same-sex marriages. Another one is American exceptionalism. Does it still apply? Another one is education, public education. Do we need to drastically overhaul it? We also have a Florida one.
That's
Ted,
an
you
easy
ought to
one.
be on. Hey, Ted, we wanted to talk about Amendment 3. We've got one on legalization of marijuana here in Florida. We got to see how California did to see whether we want to do it. And then the last one could be interesting is defining LGBTQ acceptance. How do you, your political side, or you as a person, define accepting that community? So if any of y'all are interested in all these, or people that hear this thing that view this online, just get a hold of us and we'll try to get you on if you're interested in one of these topics.
By the way, the reason Adam's behind me is because Adam's training to do the camera stuff. Partly because that means I might be able to be a panelist. Y'all excited about that idea?
I heard so.
Not at all.
I know an episode. That's what I heard.
Exactly, Joe Boy. Exactly.
I'll start apologizing now.
Joe Boy, you got a face for behind the camera.
We'll get all disclaimers.
He just wants to stir things up a little bit, and we know it's going to be partly that's going to be views down the road. But listen, as everybody is starting to get to know everybody, that changes the tone. Don is right. It's just a little bit at a time as it changes the tone. I remember when Deb first came on, I could never get her to smile. She was so damn serious, and and now she's gotten into it. And obviously Larry, the only thing with Larry is if we can get him to say more. As he says, he doesn't need to say more. You got to understand him on what he says.
But no one's internet froze today. Congratulations.
Yes! Congratulations.
The only thing I think that Larry needs is some extra light.
Well, we'll work on that.
Larry's chair is too comfortable. He's way too comfortable in that chair.
Exactly.
Any other comments?
All right, are we going to go on and shut down the after show? If y'all want to hang around a few minutes, we'll be here. But let's go on and shut down the after show. We'll see y'all next week when we talk about something interesting. Don't know what it's going to be, but we'll see you next week.
Thank you.